Hey, Jules Blessed Vegan, and as always, welcome to my channel. And for those of you who are new, I know you can benefit. People, I was struggling last night. Oh my gosh, not just last night, like yesterday around noon, all of a sudden my muscles were super achy. And then they were almost like burning. My thighs were like burning. And I was all, what in the world? The whites of my eyes turned like pink. And I was in sorry shape, seriously. And I was just like, oh my gosh, what is going on? I sweated through 3 sets of night shirts, which was just an unbelievable night. And finally, I chose not to eat. Like I had some watermelon yesterday and some power greens, and that was like at maybe, I don't know, probably around noon. And then that's when I started not feeling well. And I just chose not to eat because I was like, oh my Lord, I'm so sick. So then this morning I wake up, the pain is gone, praise God, but I was still kind of sweating it out, and ended up having full on diarrhea. TMI, I know, but there's a point. And then my forearms broke out in a rash. And I was just like, what in the world, right? And of course, people immediately started saying, oh my gosh, it sounds like the COVID. And the thing is, everything sounds like the COVID, right? Like every symptom overlaps from the common cold to the flu to the COVID. And of course, ultimately the COVID gets way worse. But anyway, so after that bout and deciding to take Benadryl for my rash on my arm, all of it subsided. And finally, by dinner today, I was ready to eat. And my husband wanted food from a fast food place, and immediately he was just like, well, you don't really have anything here. And there's no doubt I'm getting to the end of my groceries, which is fine because tomorrow's Sunday and I have to shop for my week anyway. But he's like, you really don't have anything here. Isn't there some fast food that you can have? That's a no. Let's think about fast food. Pretty much everything is frozen and fried, right? Pre-frozen and then fried. And at best, the side options are dairy. And not even real. I remember years ago when McDonald's got in trouble because they were using more oil in their shakes than milk. And I was happy for the cows. I mean, now that I'm vegan, but they had to start proving that there was milk in their shakes. That was a really big deal. But anyway, no, that's a no. So I was like, hun, let me take care of you, which I was happy to do because I've been struggling. I even still sound really wiped out. And it was just going to be easier for me to just get him something. And luckily, I did go and get him stuff. For one moment, I was suddenly going, oh, it's not that big of a deal. We could get something. I mean, you have been sick and, you deserve, I've been sick. That's the key thing right there. To suggest that I deserve to poison myself when I just suggested to you how sick I've been is a no. Come on, coconut. Could you advocate for me? No, because it's a little kid, and little kids live in their primal brains and they want it yesterday, right? And they don't know how to wait. So anyway, I turned off my monkey mind before the tribe arrived. And then I came home and rewarded myself in my earth jar. And I also gave myself a sticker on my calendar. Because these are all ways to appease that primal brain. The primal brain is the one that screams and yells in the grocery store. When you have no tolerance left, you're exhausted and say, just pick the damn thing up and shut up. Which I pray you never did, but you thought it. Let's be fair. So yeah, that's that little thing. Give it, give it, give it, give it. Why? But, And so sometimes for me, what happens is I'll be brave in the moment, which I certainly was. It was sad because I was supposed to go to a party for my mother, and you may have seen her beautiful picture for her 89th birthday. She's a rock star. And I was going to go down to a dinner for her, but I had to just call and admit that I was sick. And that I had no business, bringing anything into that setting. And I'm fully vaccinated, and I may not have been sick per se. I've been really clean on my raw vegan diet, and sometimes it's detox for me. So what happens is my body becomes hypersensitive to like everything. And initially, after the first week of eating clean, I always get a metallic taste in my mouth. And it's like, are you sure? Because how do you know what metallic tastes like? I don't know. It's the only thing I can explain. It always tastes like metal in my mouth. So yeah, I made it through the week of metallic taste, and then the following week I might be headachy or tired. I made it, and here's the third week, and all of a sudden my body was just like, what can we do to remind her that she's accidentally eating clean and needs to come back to the dark side? So yeah, got fever, chills, diarrhea, the whole thing, rash. But it seems to have been 24 hours, and I'm happy for that. So tomorrow's Sunday, and I'm very open to moving forward being well, And so anyway, what I was saying was sometimes I can be strong in the moment, but inevitably there's an aftermath where a day or two later, or even the next day or whatever, I'll be pouting and want to reward myself. And I really have to remember what a reward is, what rewards serve me. And there was a situation, a friend of mine called me tonight. She was really struggling. And she said that she was drinking a bunch of wine. And, please don't, if she sounds a little off, it's because she's been drinking all day. And basically it was over something that she couldn't control, and she was just pouting over that. And I was like, wow, is that drinking serving you? And she was kind of like, well, it's sort of serving me in this moment, it seems to be what I need right now. And I said, well, if it's true, then if indeed it was calming you or shutting out what you didn't want to deal with, why, pray tell, are you calling me to discuss what you're supposedly not dealing with? Because the wine is helping. And she had to think about that for a second. And of course, as always, I was really talking to myself, because I was thinking, isn't that exactly what I do? I try and shut down part of my brain that I don't want to deal with while I binge, but inevitably it leads to a whole nother set of things that I'm processing, from the guilt to the shame to the, screw the world, I deserve this, like the whole thing. And finally, when it wears off, I'm just stuck with those same things. And I know in the 12-step program, it always says the only way out is through. The only way out is through. And I so get that, and it's the mindset needs to change to see that caring for myself is a choice and not a punishment. And caring for myself is a gift to myself, because I think sometimes what happens is, and it's been going on for so many years, because food has been my struggle, my trauma, my thing to overcome, is that part of me thinks that if I don't get to consume all the nonsense, then it's some punishment of some kind, right? And at the same time, it's like, if I do choose to care for myself, that's almost a punishment too, because like I'm appeasing the man, right? The man, the big guy in the sky, and not God. But the commercialism, the game playing. I mean, it's to say multi-billion is an understatement industry when it comes to the diet world, right? And they always have the next best thing. And there's always some new gimmick on how to get through whatever it is. And if any of these things really did work, and if they were really touching us in a way that we recognize as being helpful, that industry would not be what it is, right? I mean, it's literally designed for failure. And so for me, in listening to her, because I know that alcohol has been a thing for her. And she immediately said, well, it's okay because in a couple of days when I'm home, I never drink. Well, that's a slippery slope. I mean, how many times did I say, I'll just finish this binge today? I'll just finish all my junk by Sunday and be clean on Monday. But as we know, once the chemicals are in play, it's very hard to erase because the microbiome's screwed up, the body's craving the nonsense, and, it comes back to haunt. So it was really just a reminder to me regarding food. So when my husband was like, come on, Jules, we can go anywhere that you're willing to go. Where can you get something? And luckily, and I'm doing the Tanny Raw Reset, which I've mentioned many times, and go up into the my search right here on Jules Blessed Vegan and put in Tanny Raw Reset. I have a great overview of what that is. And normally it's in a month from now, and I encourage you to save your $300. $299. She certainly has a right to raise the price, but you know what I mean. It's somewhere around there. But this time it's not going to be for 6 weeks. So you have a lot of time to honor yourself and choose to sign up for that. And then anyway, because I've been in the Tanny Raw Reset, I'm really engaged in trying to care for myself. And so when my husband was saying that, my brain just click through the whole thing and went to all processed food, all frozen food, fried, all food that doesn't serve my body, no foods that are mine. Now, if he had said something like, why don't you go to Panera Bread? Well, Panera Bread has salads, and I probably could have made it work. There were some places. So it's not a total no, but it absolutely was a no because I had food ready for me, and I made fabulous food. Yeah, I made some really delicious stuffed bell peppers, which I enjoy so much, and it had stretched the fat guacamole and a little heat, and it was just really fantastic. And I was just so happy that I honored myself with that. So anyway, that's where I am, people. I just wanted to check in. And tomorrow I'm going to talk about habits and how to exchange, I don't want to say bad, how to exchange the ones that don't serve us with the ones that do. And that has to do with a cue, a craving, a reward, and ultimately the response, right? Yeah, because when I got to the fast food venue, the cue right away, every single time, is get the sides, right? Because I can usually justify sides as vegan junk food. And that will give me immediate craving for a couple of different sides that fit into my definition. And then the reward, of course, is that I'm going to be able to get something with my husband at a fast food place. And the response, of course, is consuming it. And I will tell you, there was not one thing. In fact, I didn't spend time looking through the menu and choices, which I've done so many times, arguing with myself, fighting myself, deciding what on the outest ring of my forever plan I could justify. And I didn't do it. I looked specifically at what he asked for. I simply ordered it and moved on. Going home, of course, even though there was dead carcass, the smell does get to me a little bit because it's not the dead carcass. It's all the spices, which is why I was like, make your dinner as fun as you want and put as much flavor in it as you want. And I did, and it was fabulous. All right. That's it, my friends. I plan on being all better by tomorrow. More fluids. It's all good. Okay, like if you like, join us if you haven't. Subscribe. Let me know in the comments below how I may support you. And until we talk again, best of all, know that you're blessed.